The first watch ever created by Louis Vuitton is back. And no, it's not the Tambour. And now we're going to have a look at the new Louis Vuitton Monterey watch. If you think about Louis Vuitton's horological journey, many people think that it started in 2002 with the launch of the Tambour. Well, this watch actually brought the brand onto the map. But it's another watch that started it all. And it's all the way back in 1988 with their first ever wristwatches, Louis Vuitton, the Montre LV and LV. These watches, which gained the nickname Monterey, are now the source of inspiration for a reinterpretation. Slicker, more modern, now mechanical, so we're about to discover the new LV Monterey. Before the Tambour, Louis Vuitton made its first entry in watchmaking in 1988 with the LV and LV. They were created with an Italian architect named Gae Aolanti, and she just finished the transformation of the Orsay Museum in Paris, and she's also famous for the Pipistrello lamps. Aolanti designed a rather unique watch with a pebble-shaped case and no lugs, and it somehow recalls pocket watches converted into wristwatches with a crown at 12 o'clock. The watch was an ode to travel with its railroad track and specific functions. But one word about the name. The watch was never officially named Monterey back then. This was a nickname given by American clients, having a bit of a hard time with the pronunciation of montre, French for wristwatch, as the LV and LV were originally referred to as Montre 1 and Montre 2. And with the years, the nickname stuck, and it's now becoming official. But let's go back to the past. The two Gae Aolanti design watches were produced together with IWC and came packed with complications, yet they were powered by a quartz movement. The LV was 40mm, made of yellow or white gold. It featured a starry sky dial with the time, a retrograde date, a moon phase, a world time function with a GMT hand and 24 time zones. The second watch, the LV or Monterey 2, was pretty unique as it came in a 37mm case made of black or green ceramic. It was a rarity back then, but it was made possible thanks to IWC. This smaller and thinner version was also equipped with a quartz movement, with time and date display as well as an alarm function. But still, same overall travel inspiration for the dial design. Now, in 2025, following the revamp of the Tambour and Escale connections, it's time for the Monterey to come back. Let's start with the obvious. The new Louis Vuitton Monterey, yes, it's officially named like that now, is deliberately inspired by the old models, and it brings back the emblematic pebble-shaped case of the past. Made at La Fabrique des Boîtiers, the shape of the new Monterey stays true to the original versions. The fully polished, super smooth case, made of yellow gold, measures 39mm in diameter. It's not a particularly thin watch, though, at 12mm without the sapphire crystal. It's a deliberate design choice of LV, but I'd rather see something under 10mm. It also retains the same position for the crown at 12 o'clock, but it's been widened and redesigned with a Clou de Paris pattern. One of the defining elements of the original model was the ingenious caseback construction and lugless form, which are still used now in the new Monterey. And that makes this watch particularly comfortable on the wrist, as the case is basically as long as it is large. The black leather strap is attached under the case and seems to be integrated within the watch when worn, and it's actually pretty cool. Moving to the dial, you'll see both classic elements, but all done in a much slicker way. The complex display of the LV is gone and replaced by a simpler time-only style. That said, the watch remains unmistakably Monterey, thanks to the shape of the railroad tracks and hands, as well as the use of touches of red and blue. What has changed most is that the dial is now made of Grand Feu enamel, the traditional way to create such a dial. The result is a glossy, brilliant finish with a unique warmth, and enamel also brings color stability and resistance to fading. A real enamel dial is made by hand by applying multiple layers of vitreous enamel powder on a white gold base before being fired at high temperature in a kiln multiple times. Finally, the stamping process for the numerals and tracks required to apply ground enamel powder in black, red and blue, and a total of 8 stamping applications for each of the 3 colors are needed, and each time the dial is brought back in the keel again. The result is a dial that combines traditional techniques with a highly graphic style, thanks to the use of primary colors and edgy syringe-style hands in red lacquer and a blued steel second hand. One of the main evolutions of the Monterey is the move from quartz to automatic. Inside it is a movement developed by La Fabrique du Temps, which we discovered already as the base of the updated Tambour spin time and the Tambour convergence earlier this year. Even if it's not visible, it's a fine compact movement and the result of an internal development. The movement is wound by a central 18K rose gold rotor decorated with a V-shaped notches, and the decoration includes sandblasted bridges, micro sandblasted edges, perlage on the main plate, polished bevels, and colorless jewels. The movement runs at 4 Hz and stores about 45 hours of power reserve. That being said, as you know, we're not the biggest fan of quartz watches here at Monochrome, but I somehow miss the complexity of the first 2 models. Maybe LV should bring back a wall-time version of the Monterey with an automatic movement and a moon phase in the center, and that would be rather cool. The 2025 Louis Vuitton Monterey is released in a limited edition of 188 pieces, and it's priced at 56,000 euros. It's really also a nice looking watch with a unique design that will be loved, no doubt about it. So with the new Monterey, Louis Vuitton pays tribute to the earliest days of its watchmaking journey with a modern take on its first watch. The new Monterey is a nice mix between classic design cues, traditional craft, and modern features such as the sleeker display and the automatic movement, all being more in tune with the expectations of collectors currently. Thank you for watching, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.